Uses a type of glue. All those make sense. Let me tell you a story about Joe Vilsack. Okay? It's 1928, fourth grade, and that is a time, a long time ago, almost 100 years ago, and people built houses, and in order to heat them, they had a dirty thing. They had coal, like black stuff that they'd throw into like a fireplace. And when they did that, they'd be like a puff of and black soot, like would get kind of like Play-Doh gets on your hands, would get into the house. And the air would eventually take that up into the corners of the rooms, along the tops of the walls, the ceilings, and eventually the walls of houses and buildings started to turn black. And Joe saw this as a problem. He's like, I have a solution for this. So he invented a putty, kind of like a clay, but softer and squishy, that you could use to rub, almost like a big eraser, to clean the walls. Now, guess what? A few years later, because it was 1928, they came up with cleaner ways to heat houses. Instead of shoveling coal into a furnace, they had like natural gas, which just blows out like we have here, where it's nice and clean. And guess what happened to Joe's business? It started to shut down. And eventually he stopped. And he was done. He's like, no one wants my wall cleaner. And then the craziest thing happened. Joe started getting letters. If it was today, you might get an email. And people started saying, Joe, like, we loved that stuff. Can you start making more of it? The people who were contacting him were teachers. Teachers were using this stuff that Joe's like, let's use this to scrub the wall. And teachers saw that this was a good stuff to use for kids to model and build stuff out of. Because clay back then, it was too hard for like elementary kids to like mold with their hands. So Joe sat there and thought. One minute he's like, man, my business is done. And now all of a sudden, these people are coming to me saying, Joe, we need you to make more of that, but it's for something completely different, right? It's not even close to the same. So that is exactly what Joe did.
You're all looking at me like I was around at that time.
None of us were around.
I was like, man.
Okay? So here's